Hello students, this is your economics teacher Ayana. I hope you are well and utilizing the time wisely.
In the previous class, you are learned about law of variable proportions, laws of return to scale and economies and diseconomies of scale. Today, you are going to learn about isocons, isocost line, producer's equilibrium and Cobb-Douglas production function. Students, watch this video very carefully till the end. Fine, let us enter into the topics. First, we will discuss isocons, definition of isocons, isocont curve, isocont map and properties of isocont curve. Students, take the page number 63. Isocons. Production function may involve at a time the use of more than one variable input. This is presented with the help of isocont curves. The two words iso and quant are derived from the Greek language meaning equal and quantity. In our presentation, only two factors, labor and capital, are used. In economics, an isocont is a curve drawn by joining the combination of changing the quantities of two or more inputs which give the same level of output. Isocons are similar to indifference curve. An isocont curve can be defined as the locus of points representing various combination of two inputs, capital and labor, yielding the same output. The isocont is also called the equal product curve or the product indifference curve. Next, definition of isocont. According to Ferguson, an isocont is a curve showing all possible combinations of inputs physically capable of producing a given level of output. In short, the isocont analysis helps to understand how different combinations of two or more factors are used to produce a given level of output. Isocons are based on the following assumption. First assumption, it is assumed that only two factors are used to produce a commodity. Second, factors of production can be divided into small parts. Third, techniques of production is constant. Fourth, the substitution between the two factors is technically possible. That is, production function is of variable proportion types rather than the fixed proportion. Fifth, under the given techniques, factors of production can be used with maximum efficiency. Isocont schedule. Let us suppose that there are two factors, namely labor and capital. An isocont schedule shows the different combination of these two inputs that yield the same level of output. It is given below. It is the seen from the table 3.2 that the 5 combinations of labor units and units of capital yield the same level of output, that is 400 meters of cloth. Isocont curve. An equal product curve represents all those combinations of two inputs which are capable of producing the same level of output. An isoproduct curve can be drawn with the help of an isocont schedule. The two axes measures the quantities of labor and capital, and the curve IQ shows the different combination that produce 400 units of output. Each of the points on the curve shows a capital labor combination that can produce 400 units of output. Therefore, the curve is known as an equal product curve or an isocont curve. Thus, an isocont or isoproduct curve represents different combinations of two factors of production that yield the same level of output. Characteristics of an isocont. The isocont is downward sloping from left to right, that is, it is negatively sloped. Second, an isocont is convex to the origin because of the diminishing marginal rate of technical substitution. Marginal rate of technical substitutions of factors X or capital for factor Y, labor, may be defined as the amount of factor Y, labor, which can be replaced by 1 unit of factor X, that is capital, the level of output remaining unchanged. Thus, the marginal rate of technical substitution is always declining. Hence, the isocont is always convex to the origin. The slope of the isocont represents marginal rate of technical substitutions. Next, isocont map. An isocont map has a different isocont curve representing the different combinations of factors of production, yielding the different level of output. In simple terms, an isocont map is a family of isoconts. In other words, if more than one isocont is drawn in a diagram, it is called isocont map. Higher the isocont, higher will be the level of output produced. A set of isoconts which represents different level of output is called isocont map. In the isocont map, the isoconts on the right side represents higher level of output and vice versa. Properties of isocont curve. First properties, the isocont curve has negatively sloped. It slopes downwards from left to right, indicating that the factors are substitutable. If more of one factor is used, less of the other factor is needed for producing the same level of output. In the diagram, combinations of A refers to more of capital K5 and less of labor L2. As the producer moves to B to C and D, more labor and less capital are used. Second properties of isocont curve, convex to the origin. This explains the concept of diminishing marginal rate of technical substitution MRTS for L and K or labor and capital. For example, the capital substituted by 1 unit of labor goes on decreasing when moved from the top to bottom. If so, it is called diminishing MRTS. Constant MRTS, that is straight line, and increasing MRTS, that is concave, are also possible. It depends on the nature of isocont curve. This means that factors of production are substitutable to each other. The capital substituted per unit of labor goes on decreasing when the isocont is convex to the origin. Third, non-intersections of isocont curve. For instance, point A lie on the isocont IQ1 and IQ2, but the point C shows a higher output and the point B shows a lower level of output, IQ1. If C is equal to A, B is equal to A, then C is equal to B, but C greater than B, which is illogical. Fourth, an upper isocont curve represents a higher level of output. Higher isocont phi shows higher outputs and lower isocont phi shows lower output. For upper isocont curve implies the use of more factor than the lower isocont curve. The arrow is the figure shows an increase in the output which a right and upward shift of one isocont curve. Fifth properties of isocont curve. Isocont curve does not touch either x-axis or y-axis. No isocont curve touches the x-axis or y-axis because in IQ1 only capital is used and in IQ2 only labor is used. Second, you are going to learn about iso cost line. Students, take the page number 67. The iso cost line plays an important role in determining the combination of factors that the firm will choose for production. An iso cost line is defined as locus of points representing various combinations of two factors which the firm can buy with a given outlay. Higher iso cost line represents higher level of outputs and lower iso cost line represents lower level of outputs. Here, the iso cost line is an important component in analyzing producer behavior. The iso cost line illustrates all the possible combination of two factors that can be used at a given cost and for a given producer budget. Simply stated that an iso cost line represents different combinations of inputs which shows the same amount of cost. The iso cost line gives information on factor prices and financial resources of the firm. It is otherwise called as iso price line or iso income line or iso expenditure line or total outlay curve. Suppose that a producer has a total budget of rupees 120 and for producing a certain level of output, he has to spend this amount on two factors like labor and capital. Price of factors K is rupees 30 and labor is rupees 10. ISO cost curve can be drawn by using the following hypothetical table. As shown in table, there are 5 combinations of capital and labor, such as combination of A represents 4 units of capital and 0 units of labor, and this combination cost is rupees 120. Similarly, other combination B, C, D and E cost the same amount of rupees 120. Symbolically, 4 capital plus 0 labor is equal to 120. 3 capital plus 3 labors is equal to 120. 2 capital plus 6 labor is equal to 120. 1 capital plus 9 laborer is equal to 120. And 0 capital plus 12 laborer is 120. Thus, all the combinations A, B, C, D and E cost the same total expenditure. From the figure 3.10, it is shows that the cost to be increased on capital and labor are represented by the triangle OAE. The line AE is called as ISO cost line. The ISO cost line depends on 2 things. 1. Price of the factors of production, and second, the total outlay which a firm has to make on the factors of production. Given these two, the ISO cost line can be drawn. The slope of ISO cost line is equal to the ratio of the price of 2 factors. Thus, the slope of the ISO cost line is given as slope of ISO cost line is equal to price of factor K divided by price of factor L. Third, you are going to learn about producer's equilibrium. A rational producer always tries to achieve largest volume of output from a given factor expenditure outlay on factors such that these factors are combined in an optimal or most efficient way. The producer maximizes his profit and produces a given level of output with the least combination of factors. This level of cost combination of factors will be optimum for him. Here, producer equilibrium implies the situation where producer maximizes his output. It is also known as the optimum combination of the factors of production. In short, the producer manufactures a given amount of output with the least cost combination of factors with his given budget. Optimum combination of factor implies either there is output maximization for given inputs. Second, there is cost minimizing for the given output. Conditions for producer equilibrium. First, the ISO cost line must be tangent to ISO quant curve. Second, at the point of tangency, the ISO quant curve must be convex to the origin, or MRTS LK must be declining. When the outlay and the price of 2 factors, namely labor and capital, are given, producer attain equilibrium where the ISO cost line is tangent to an ISO product curve. It is illustrated in the following diagram 3.11. Profit of the firm is maximized at the point of equilibrium E. At the point of equilibrium, the slope of ISO cost line is equal to the slope of the ISO product curve. Hence, it can be stated that MRTS, that is marginal rate of technical substitution for labor and capital, is equal to price of labor divided by price of capital, is equal to price of labor is 10 divided by price of capital is 30. So, 10 by 30 is equal to 1 by 3 is equal to 0.333. At point E, the firm employs OM unit of labor and ON unit of capital. In other words, it obtains least cost combination or optimum combination of the 2 factors of produce the level of output denoted by the ISO quant IQ. The other points such as H, K, R and S lie on higher ISO cost line, indicating that a larger outlay is required which exceed the financial resources of the firm. Lastly, you are going to learn about Cobb-Douglas production function. The Cobb-Douglas production function was developed by Charles W. Goff and Paul H. Douglas. Based on their empirical study of American manufacturing industry, it is a linear homogeneous production function which implies that the factors of production can be substituted for one another up to a certain extent only. The simplest and the most widely used production function in economics is the Cobb-Douglas production function. The Cobb-Douglas production function can be stated as follows. Q is equal to A into L power alpha K power beta. Q is equal to actual output, L is equal to labor, K is equal to capital, A is equal to number of units of labor or positive constant. Alpha is equal to exponent of laborer, beta is equal to exponent of capital. According to the above production function, if both factors of production, labor and capital are increased by 1%, the output will increase by the sum of exponents of labor and capital, that is alpha plus 1 minus alpha. Since alpha plus 1 minus alpha is equal to 1, according to the equation, when the inputs are increased by 1%, the output also increased by 1%. The Cobb-Douglas production function explains only constant return to scale. This is mainly because the addition of Q is equal to A into L power alpha then K power beta. In the above production equation, the sum of the exponents shows the degree of return to scale in production function. Alpha plus beta greater than 1 increasing return to scale. Alpha plus beta is equal to 1 constant return to scale. Alpha plus beta less than 1 a decreasing return to scale. The production function explains that with the proportionate increase in the factor, the output also increase in the same proportion. Cobb-Douglas production function implies constant return to scale. Cobb-Douglas production function considered only two factors like Cobb-Douglas production function is a specific standard equation applied to describe how much output can be made with capital and labor inputs. It is used in empirical studies of manufacturing industries and in inter-industry comparison. The relative shares of labor and capital in total output can also be determined. It is still used in the analysis of economies of modern, developed and stable nation in the world. Labor and capital production takes place only when both factors are employed. Labor contributes 3/4 of production and capital contributes 1/4 of production. The elasticity of substitution between the factor is equal to 1. That's all for today. We will continue in the next class. Freeze the assignment by clicking the link below.
You